Hello everyone, welcome to S2S Classes. In this video, we will study the Chapter 2 of Unit 1 Class 5th NCERT, that is, Wonderful Waste. If you have not subscribed our YouTube channel yet, please subscribe it and like this video and give your valuable comments in the section below. Let us begin with the chapter now. Waste can be quite useful. Find out yourself from the story. So basically in this chapter we'll study about waste management and the different interesting things we can do out of waste. So we know what are we going to study, so let us read the chapter now. Once the Maharaja of Travancore ordered a grand dinner in his palace. In the afternoon before the dinner, the Maharaja entered the kitchen to survey the dishes that had been prepared for the feast. So basically the Maharaja ordered a grand dinner. Now a grand dinner means a very huge dinner party. So before the feast, he went to the kitchen to check himself what all dishes have been prepared for the feast. What are you going to do with those vegetable scraps? He asked the cook, pointing to the basket of scraps near the cook. The cook replied, "They are waste, we'll throw them away." So when he went inside the kitchen, he saw some vegetable. He saw the vegetable scraps kept in a corner. So basically scraps are the leftovers which are not considered to be useful. So he asked to the cook that what will he do out of the vegetable scraps, and he replied, "They are waste, we'll throw them away." You cannot waste all these bits and pieces of vegetables. Find a way to use them, the Maharaja commanded sternly and walked away. So he said that even if those vegetable scraps are waste, you cannot waste all these bits and pieces of vegetables. So he ordered the Maharaj to do something out of them, as he cannot throw them. So the cook was in a fix and kept staring at the vegetable scraps for some time. Now he was very shocked as well as blank. He thought that the Maharaja has ordered to make something out of the vegetable scraps, but he did not had any idea that what can he do out of the scraps. So he was in a state of shock. But suddenly, let's see what happened. Suddenly an idea flashed across his mind. He took all the vegetable bits, washed them and cleaned them well. So now he started to make something out of that scrap. So the first step was washing and cleaning those scraps. Then he cut them into long strips. He put them in a huge pot and placed it on the fire to cook. So the second step was cutting them and then cooking them. After that, he ground some fresh coconut, green chilies and garlic together. He added this paste and some salt to the cooking vegetables. So what did he did next? He added spices inside the pot. Then a tempting smell started coming from the top pot. Now he whipped some curd and added it to the curry. After that, curd was added. So he also poured a few spoonfuls of coconut oil and decorated the dish with curry leaves. So then coconut oil, and finally it was decorated with curry leaves. Lo and behold, the new dish was ready. So finally, the cook prepared a new dish from those vegetable scraps which were first considered waste by him. The cook served this new dish to the guests that evening. Everyone was eager to know the name of the new dish. The cook thought and thought. Then a name came to his mind. He named it. Its spelling is Avil, but we pronounce it as Avial. Avial. He named it as this. Okay. And this was a completely new dish which was prepared out of the vegetable scraps which were considered waste. Now, avial became famous all over Kerala and is now one of the dishes in a traditional Kerala feast. And imagine, it all came from a basket of waste. So here we can see that it was basically best out of waste. The vegetable scraps which were considered waste are now one of the most traditional dish of Kerala is made from them. So we can completely understand by the chapter, by this lesson, that we can do many interesting things from the waste, and the Maharaja did not wanted the bits of the vegetables to get wasted, so he ordered the cook to use them, and finally he found out a new dish. Let's see what are the questions we need to answer. So firstly, there are some new phrases which are very important. Let us have a look at it. In a fix, a situation hard to escape from. Basically, it's a situation of shock for a person. In a fix, that he or she is hard to escape from the situation and is shocked about it. Then is flash across the mind, to suddenly think of. When an idea comes into your mind, then that is flash across the mind. Then we have lo and behold, look what a surprise. This was used, so it is basically a reaction for surprise. Lo and behold, this is something interesting and very new. Then we have traditional feast, hearty meal for many guests served on a special occasion. Okay, so we are clear with all the four words. So we are clear with the new phrases. Let's look at the question answers now. What were the preparations in the palace for? So the preparations in the palace were for a grand dinner in the palace of the Maharaja of Travancore. So we'll write the answer here. First we'll write the preparations in the palace were made for a grand dinner in the palace of the Maharaja of Travancore. Then we have, why did the Maharaja go into the kitchen in the afternoon? So he went to the kitchen in the afternoon to examine the dishes that had been prepared for the grand dinner. So examine the dishes prepared for dinner. So Maharaja went into the kitchen in the afternoon to examine the dishes prepared for the dinner. Then we have, what had the cook planned to do with the vegetable scraps? The cook planned to throw away the vegetable scraps. Obviously, we know that the preparations were for a grand dinner in the palace. The Maharaja went to the kitchen to check out the arrangements and the dishes prepared, and the cook planned to throw away the vegetable scraps. Now, the fourth question says that ingredients are the things that are used to make a dish. So we now know what are ingredients. So whatever things which are used to make a particular dish are called the ingredients for that dish. Now circle the ingredients used of avial in the box below. Now we need to circle the ingredients of avial. That means the things which were used in avial out of all the items here. Okay, so let us do this. It says chilies. Chilies were used. Coconut was also used. Garlic was used. Then groundnut, roasted peanuts, broken bangles, wood were not used. Curd was used. Basket was not used. Vegetable scraps were the main element. Pot and curry leaves were also used. So we have now circled all the ingredients used in avial. Thus we have done all the 4 questions. Let's see what's next. So it says, state whether it's true or false. The king had ordered a dinner in the palace. It is true, right? True means the truth, and false means something which is not true. Something which is not true. Okay, so this is truth and this is false. Then obviously we know that king had ordered dinner in the palace, so the statement is true. No one had heard or tasted avial before. This is also true because it was a completely new dish, right? So it was a new dish and thus no one had ever tasted or heard of it before. The cook had planned to make another dish using the vegetable scraps. True, he made a new dish, right? He made some very different dish out of the scraps. So we are done with it. Let's see the next question. It says a recipe is a list of lot of directions to prepare a dish. The following sentences are not in order for preparing avial. Number them in the correct order. So now we know that recipe is a list of directions to prepare a dish. So here we have the recipe of to prepare avial, but they are not in order. So what we need to do is we need to first order the numbers. Okay, so the first one is wash and clean the mix of vegetable bits. Okay, then so at first I'll read out the sentences for you. It says grind some coconut, green chilies and garlic. Cut the vegetable scraps into long strips. Wash and clean the mix of vegetable bits. Decorate with curry leaves. Whip some curd and mix in it. Pour some coconut oil on top and avial is ready. So what we need to do is we need to number them in a correct order. The first one has been done. That is the first step is to wash and clean the mix of vegetable bits. The second is to I'll write this properly so that there's no confusion. The second is to cut the vegetable scraps into long strips. The third one is to grind some coconut, green chilies and garlic. Then we have to whip some curd and mix in it. After that, we need to pour some coconut oil on the top. Then decorate it with curry leaves, and finally the avial is ready. So we are done with it and we now know the recipe for avial as we have arranged it in a correct order. And we also know that recipe is a list of directions to prepare a dish. Then given in the box are some things that children do after they reach home from school. Now choose any 5 things that you do when you reach home from the school and write them in order. So these are a few things which are given which all the children do once they reach home after school. Almost each one of us have our routine which we follow. So let me read all of them first. Pack school bag, read a storybook, sleep for a while, do the homework, go to play, put away school bag, chat with mummy about school, wash up, watch TV, change out of school uniform, have lunch. So basically I need to arrange them in a proper order. I'll do it according to my routine. It can be different for different students because each one of us has different routine. Okay, I am just giving you an example. So firstly, I put away my school bag. Firstly, I put away my school bag. Then I change out of school uniform. Then I change out of school uniform. Next, I have lunch. After that, I chat with mummy about school. And finally, I sleep for a while. This answer can be different for everybody according to their needs, so it should be done by you. It's a task for you. Then the Maharaja was a wise man and ordered the cook to use the vegetable scraps instead of throwing them away. Now, name some of the things which are thrown away at home or in the school. So, some of the things which are thrown away at home or in school. So, we throw away the scrap paper, the seeds from the fruit, then vegetable seeds, newspaper, old newspapers basically. So these are a few things which are thrown away at home or in school. It can be different if you have many other things to tell. Now sit in groups of 4 and think of interesting ways in which they can be made useful. So we can use scrap paper for making our notes, scrap paper for notes, and newspapers to cover books. Then seeds from fruits and vegetables can be used to grow new plants. So seeds can be used to grow new plants. Okay, so now put up your findings on the class board. Obviously when you do it in class, you can put up your different findings on the board, and the answers can be very different according to your own creativity and ideas. This is just an example for you. Then this is a pair work actually. Some words have more than one meaning. For example, we have point. So its meaning as a noun is a dot in print or writing, full stop. For a noun, this, like suppose I make a dot here, this is a point. The number you score in a game. Verb to show or call attention to something, like pointing towards a boy. Pointing towards boy. So this aspect is noun while this aspect is verb, and they are different in meaning though the word is similar, that is point. So basically you need to know that what is noun and what is verb. You will study it definitely. Verb is an action thing when you are doing something, and noun is a name of any place, animal or thing. Okay, so we can see that some words have more than one meaning, and we saw the example of point. For one meaning, it is a simple print or writing, like what I made over here is a point, or the points we score in a game. But for verb, it is to show or call attention to something. Now what we need to do is look up at the following words in the dictionary. They may have more than one meaning. List these meanings. Now what we need to do is we need to find the meanings of these words as which is different in noun and verb. Okay, and we need to list them. So I'll help you out in this, and we can understand the different meanings. For noun we'll write N. Okay, ground means the solid part of earth's surface, the solid part of earth's surface. While for the verb means, I'll write for a verb, for the verb I'll write it here, okay? For the verb it means to fix something strongly. To fix something strongly. The second word is survey. So survey in a noun means a short summary. A short summary. While for a verb it means to look over carefully. To look over carefully. Then we have scrap. Scrap as a noun means waste material. To throw. Waste material. To throw. And as a verb it means to dispose or throw the waste material. Then we have sternly and tempting. Now sternly as a noun means strict, while as a verb it means severely simple. Now tempting as a noun means highly attractive. And so that it's clear to you, for the verb it means to invite or to attract. So with this we have done the two different meanings of all these five words. Let us discuss them once. For ground, the noun is solid part of earth's surface. Like we say playground, anything that is ground is the noun. But to fix something strongly is an action, and that is a verb. So ground has two meanings with this. Then we have survey. As a noun it is basically a short summary is called a survey, but when we look it from verb's aspect it is to look over something very carefully. Then we have scrap. It's a waste material, but when we look it in a noun it means to throw away a waste material, and as a noun it itself means a waste material, thus two different meanings. Then we have sternly. Sternly as a noun means something who's strict, and basically it means strict, and for verb it means severely simple, like two opposite things. Then it has tempting. Tempting as a noun means highly attractive, while as a verb to invite or to attract. So we can see that a single word has more than one meaning in the aspect of noun as well as verb, and I hope it is clear to you. So next we have make new words. What we need to do is we need to make new words by adding or dropping a few letters from the root word. Now some are done for us. We can see this is pound. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make new words by adding or dropping a few letters from the root word. So pound mein we can add ed or ing, but we cannot add er or est. Okay, so it's a crossover there. Now we can write, when we add ed to pound it makes pound dead, and when we add ing it's pounding. Pounder and poundest are nothing, so we cannot use here. Then we have try. We have added ed to it, and it's tried, tried. When we add ing it's trying, and trier and triest are nothing. Then we have large. Larged and larging is nothing, but we can add er as well as est, that is larger and largest. Then we have new. Newer and newing is nothing, but newer and newest can be made. Then tasty, tasted, tasting, tasting, tastier, and we can make it tastiest also. Then we have wise. Ed and ing cannot be added, but it can be wiser and the wisest. Then we have stare. It can be stared, staring, but er and est cannot be added. Then clean. Clean can be cleaned, cleaning, cleaner, and cleanest. So basically, we make new words by adding or dropping a few letters from the root word. So these all were the root words, and these were the letters we added to the root word. And for some words we need to remove some letters. So for adding ed to try, we need to remove y, and then we added ed, and instead of y we wrote I. So the question says, do any of these words use all of the four endings? Yes, we can clearly see that tasty and clean are the two words that use all the four endings. So I hope this table is clear to you so that we can move ahead. Now it says, name the food that is made in your home for a feast or a festival, when you are unwell, and every day. So if it's for a feast or a festival, there are different things in a house which is made. So in my house, mostly we cook non-vegetarian food if it's a feast or a festival. No, actually for a feast. For a festival we make something special, like anything you want to. Like some people would love to eat Chinese. If we talk about something traditional, then in South Indian houses for a feast or a festival we have dosa and sambar. While when we are unwell, obviously we eat khichdi. Khichdi is basically boiled rice and vegetables, everything cooked together. And every day we eat roti and green vegetables. Okay, you need to answer these questions according to your house. Okay, so whatever you have, you're in a house for a feast or a festival, or when you're unwell, or every day, you need to answer it accordingly. Now share the information with your friends so that you can get new ideas. Then avel is a dish made in Kerala. Do you have a similar dish from a mix of many vegetables, and what is it called? So okay, I know a dish which is different, and you can write it over here. You can tell me about different dishes as well. If something is very interesting, you can share it with everyone in the comment section. Now what is it called? It is called Boogie Bhaji. Write down the ingredients used to make it. So we need, I'll write it over here. Okay, we need cabbage, cauliflower, potatoes, and brinjal to make it. Then write down the recipe. So you can search it actually, because the recipe is very long, and you can look at the images also. This is an activity for you, or an homework that can be done by you. So basically what we do is, we have to boil all the vegetables in a pressure cooker. Then put all the boiled vegetables in a pan, pour a little amount of water, and keep stirring it for 5 minutes. After that we can add green chilies and a pinch of salt according to our taste, and then Boogie Bhaji is ready. I guess the name is not clearly written, so I'll write it here again. It is Boogie Bhaji. You can search for it if you want to, and you can tell me about the new dishes which you eat. Then there's a story about bamboo curry. Let's read what this bamboo curry is to say. Have you ever eaten a dish made of bamboo? Look, bamboo, we all know, is not an edible item, but here we have bamboo curry. So let's see what it says. Let's read this picture story and find out which part of bamboo can be cooked and eaten. So now we'll read about a dish out of bamboo. Now this sounds really interesting. Let's have a look at it. One day, the mother-in-law of a Santhal bridegroom cooked a special dish for him when he visited her. So Santhal basically maybe it will be a tribe, and so one day the mother-in-law for the bridegroom prepared a new dish when he visited her. Now this curry is delicious. What is it? The mother-in-law pointed at the bamboo door. So when he asked that what is it, she pointed at the bamboo door. Next morning, just as he was about to leave, he remembered that there was no bamboo in his village. So he removed the bamboo door and carrying it with him left for his home. Now he liked the curry very much, so he took out that bamboo door with him because there was no bamboo in his own village and went. So he took the bamboo to take home. Okay. Then on reaching his village, he told his wife, make curry with this bamboo door. Now she was shocked. How can I make curry out of a bamboo door? Obviously it's a huge question mark, that how can a curry made out of a bamboo door? So come, I'll help you by chopping up the bamboo, he said. So what happened? He said that he'll chop the bamboo into pieces. His wife boiled it and boiled it. Later when her husband tasted it, he said, it's too hard to eat, you don't know how to cook. Now what happened? He chopped the bamboos, she boiled them as it is, but they remained hard. So he said that she doesn't know how to cook. After that, his wife added more water and boiled it and boiled it. It's still too hard, I can't eat it. So she boiled it more with some more water, but nothing happened. The in-laws came to visit the young couple that evening. They all laughed at his foolishness. The mother-in-law said, didn't you know the curry was made from bamboo shoot and not from a bamboo door? So basically Santhal, as we talked, it's a Santhal folk tale. Now folk tale are the traditional tales they have. So now we know that the curry was cooked from bamboo shoot and not from the bamboo door. So finally the bridegroom now understand that it was cooked from a bamboo shoot, and that he was foolish that he brought the bamboo door, chopped it and boiled it, because we cannot make a curry directly out of a bamboo door. So we have complete the sentences meaningfully. The bridegroom left with the door of his in-laws. It was made up of bamboo and there was no bamboo in his village. So basically when he went to his mother-in-law's house, he tasted bamboo curry, and so the bridegroom left with the door of his in-laws house because it was made up of bamboo and there was no bamboo in his own village. Now the bridegroom was unable to have a bamboo curry in the end because it was too hard to eat. Obviously he was preparing a curry directly from the bamboo door, so it was hard to eat. Next we have word hunt. Now what we need to do is fill in the blanks with words from the story. The bridegroom went to visit his mother-in-law. So these are the direct answers we have from the story, and I hope you all will be able to answer this. The mother-in-law pointed at the bamboo door. Maybe this blank is extra, so we can remove this the over here. He stayed the night with his in-laws. He carried the bamboo door back with him. The curry was made from bamboo shoots. So I hope these lines are clear to you. Now we need to pronounce these words. So it says impatient. So the pronunciation is given over here, that is impatient. Then it is delicious. So in the same way we need to actually say aloud all the words. Okay, so this is boiled, you need to pronounce it as boiled. Chopped, bamboo. So you need to practice these words on your own by saying them aloud. With this we have come to the end of the chapter, wonderful waste. In this chapter we learned about dishes which can be made from waste. We read about avial made up of vegetable scraps. Then we also read about bamboo curry, and then we also read about the words that can be prepared by dropping or adding new words. And then we also read about one word, different meanings, noun aspect and the verb aspect. So I hope the chapter is clear to you. If you have any doubts, please ask me in the comment section. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe our channel. We'll study the next chapter in the next video. That's all. Thank you.